This week on Thursdays with Rob and Paul, we have Bentley and Ione Skye talking about their brand new podcast, How to Keep a Marriage Alive and How to Celebrate Art Every Day. Plus, from Bob's Burgers, you know him as Tina Belcher. Dan Mintz is here to talk about his brand new movie, Bob's Burgers, the movie, and his rivalry with Tom Cruise. Plus, we're going to get into our gripes. Oh, yeah, funny little Dave Barry-esque gripes. Also, Rob and I show off our insecure side, and I talk about my dream machine, the Coca-Cola Freestyle soda machine. Please, Coke, give me one. It'll fit in my office. It'll be so beautiful. Dan Mintz was one of the writers that we loved on Human Giant. He was great, a great voice in the room. Dan is, if you've not seen Dan's comedy, he makes me laugh so hard. He
does something totally different, and I love it. Like, I love it. I don't know if does he do a lot of stand-up now that he's doing Bob's? I mean, like, now they're in their like 10th season, so he may not.
That show is very popular. I haven't seen him doing. We'll ask him about it. These are things we could put on the list. By the way, we're talking about Bob's Burgers, and you know who's on Bob's Burgers.
Who?
This guy right here, Rob Hubel. Look at this. What we have here. This is like, let me pull it the right way. Look at this, Rob Hubel. You have played this many characters on Bob's Burgers.
Well, that's actually, half.
Whoa, really? You've played more.
Yeah, I think I can send you. Well, it doesn't matter.
I want to see. Send it to Molly.
Look how similar they look. But I will say, full disclosure, I have like 2 lines in the movie, so don't.
I'm coming to the movie to see Rob.
Don't think I'm the star of the movie. Dan and the movie is so funny. We'll talk about it with Dan. But the movie is really funny and great, and I'm barely in it.
Are you one of your classic characters?
No, I'm a totally different and I'll give you a hint. I am unrecognizable, and you probably wouldn't even catch it. You probably wouldn't. It's kind of an Easter egg, really.
Wow. I want to see if you can find out, because you are in the Bob's Burgers world. I was invited to the premiere. I could not go because I had something else that night, but I want to know. I have a theory. I don't even know if I should be talking about this on air, but I will talk about it on air. I have a theory that I pissed somebody off at Bob's Burgers.
Is that true?
I was on the show once, like in season 1, and I had a great time. And then the episode was cut together, and you wouldn't even know I was in it. I'm credited. I'm on the Bob's Burgers wiki and everything as this character Larry. But and this is the character that I am. But I only have one line, and it's like, "Is it vegan?" Which I nailed. I mean,
do it again.
Hold on. Is it vegan?
Yeah.
There it is. So I, but I like, it literally is. I know it's probably unfounded, unless I did piss off like Lauren Bouchard at one point. But it seems like the show's been on for like a decade.
I know. Can I tell you that? I mean, this is the kind of thing we should probably talk about off the air. But I feel this way about so many shows. Well, like there's so many shows where I'm like, oh, I love that show. How come I've never been on that show? And I mean, these are, good, some easy problems to have, but nice problems to have, but annoying. Like, in the back of your mind, you're always like, did I piss someone off?
Did I piss somebody off? Because that's the thing. It's like, and I think this is why it's more universal. It has nothing to do with Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers is a great show that I am a huge fan of, but there are these moments in your life where you are like, does that person not like it? Why do I
operate that cloud, which is, like you said, probably totally oversight. It's probably like
100%.
Someone is like, oh yeah, we should totally. They're just not thinking about it. But it affects me to the degree where when I see a person from that show out at a thing, I'm always like, oh no, they hate me. They're not even thinking about me. But I'm like, that guy hates me.
They don't like me at all. Yeah. Now, I will say that, like, on the other side of the fence of it, I've been in situations where there have been people that I really want to cast for things, and I go, oh well, let's hold off. It's not good enough for them. And then
that's a thing too. That's a thing too, is like Yeah, we've done that before on shows that we've worked on where we're like, well, we can't offer this to, so and so. This is a tiny little part. Where the reality is like people are psyched to do whatever, either as a favor or because they like to show up and be funny. But like in our minds, we're like, but that's a big star. We need to get a big part for them. I don't think that's
but it's like that. It's that nervousness that you have about interacting. And I will tell you, one of our good friends, who writes on Bob's Burgers, like when the episode came out after I'd recorded and I was in that room with everybody, it was so much fun. I had seen that it was just cut down to like just a line in a montage of characters saying it. And I said, and I didn't know what to say. So when I saw him, I didn't want to be like confrontational at all. I said, hey, I saw the episode. It was great. And then he said back to me, did you see it? And I said, yeah, I saw it. And I go, it was great. Like then I was caught. And then he didn't tell me anything. And then I walked away. And I live in that like fear, like, should I have asked? I mean, I don't want to be a dick. I don't want to be like, so but maybe again, Larry might come back.
Do it one more time.
Yeah. Is it vegan? There it is. I also do honestly, I don't even know if that is my character.
Honestly, man, like the way you're doing it.
Yeah.
I can kind of see why they wouldn't have you back, Here, put it up and let me do it.
All right, yeah.
Is it vegan?
Shit, that was good.
That
was really good.
You just throw it away.
That was really good. But I don't even remember recording that line. But you know what I'm remembering right now? This is not the only time that I was cut out of something that had no explanation. Remember when you, Aziz, and I did Family Guy, or not Family Guy, American Dad?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the three of us did. Yeah. Well, no, they didn't cut it. The three of us did American Dad. And then when it aired on TV, it was 3 other voices. So it was like, what happened? It felt like roughly the same lines. Yeah. It was like, but they just replaced us with 3 other voices. And I was like, what happened?
I've had weird stuff. I had well, I'm trying to figure out how to, it doesn't matter. I've had stuff like that where I've gone in and done like the smallest little thing.
Yeah.
And then been replaced. There's just no, I try not to get attached to anything. I mean, and I'll mention this to Dan, but like in this movie, I literally have, I think, like 2 lines. So that one of them is a joke, so that's fine. Right. But when I went in to record it, it wasn't like that. So, in the editing of the movie, they were like, well, we don't need that. We don't really need this. We got to keep it going. It's
fine. And I get that. It's a weird thing though, because it's like, do I address it with somebody? Do I tell them? It's like one of the funniest moments. I was in, I got a phone call when Larry David was doing that movie. It was like a Curb style movie. It was like him and John Hamm. It was an HBO movie, but it wasn't like a Curb movie. It was just like, it was more of a plot based movie, not like he wasn't playing himself.
Was that a political one? No,
it was like an electric car movie. I'm forgetting the name of that movie. God. So anyway, I fly to Boston to shoot this scene, and it's me and Larry and our wives, and we're at this table and we're having this like conversation. It was a really fun scene, but it was like a 4-person scene, and the idea was Larry was pitching that every car needed to have like a pee receptacle, like you could pee into a tube, and we were like, well, that's kind of disgusting, and we were having that conversation, and I was like, oh, that's a really funny scene, and it kind of talks about, it was like kind of, I thought integral to the plot because it was about why he gets fired in the next moment.
Molly's asking, was it Clear History?
Clear History, yes. So so I go to the premiere, and as I'm walking down the carpet, I bump into Larry, and Larry goes, Paul, oh no, we really cut that scene. Oh no. And I was like, oh, then I felt bad, like that. I was like, oh no, it's fine. And then, you go in knowing, and it was fun to see him react like, oh, I forgot to tell this person that he is essentially cut out of the movie. I am in it for 30 seconds.
Will you go to a movie premiere that you are not in? I don't, because I don't know what the right thing to do is.
Not for like a good time. Like I had a friend of mine who was like, "Oh yeah, my husband and I want to go out on a date, so we went to that premiere." I was like, "That sounds awful." But like if it's like
to support the movie and like
support a friend or whatever the relationship is. Yeah, but like the idea of like, I mean, also it's easy for me to put on a suit and go and do whatever. Like if my wife is going. It's a whole thing. There's nothing easy about like looking good on the red carpet.
That's how my wife is. My wife is, thankfully she's like, you just go and do it. I'll just throw on a suit and go and But I always sometimes feel like this is so inside, by the way, that if you're just tuning into the show for the first time, this is not what the show is not usually Paul and I figuring out
seeing if we have grudges. What grudges
us over? Who in Hollywood has fucked us over? But the show is going to be great. Dan Mintz, Ben Lee, Ione, Skye. But anyway, but I will sometimes feel if I go to a movie premiere or a show, even a premiere of like a show or a screening of a show that I'm not in, sometimes I feel like, do other people feel like what the fuck is he doing here?
Yeah, like why is he here?
Yeah.
And it's weird because you kind of want other people. Like this is again, we're talking inside baseball.
This is so inside.
So inside. But I agree with what Molly said. Molly said no one is thinking about you. And I was gonna say I always try to remember that no one really is thinking about you.
In life, no one is thinking about you.
Not like she wasn't saying that insultingly. It's like, but here is the moment. This is where I also like if I'm on a show, I will go to the wrap party. If I showed up for a day or 2 days to do something on a show or a movie, I ain't going to that wrap party.
Right.
Because it's not for me. Yeah. But then I also feel like people are like, why didn't you show up to the wrap? Like, it's a weird thing. It's like, because that was.
Do you lump wrap parties and people? I'm assuming everyone knows a wrap party. Sometimes they have a big party at the end of shooting a show or a movie. And it's sometimes fun. Sometimes it's a little weird because it's like a lot of people that you don't, because it's like, crew and everybody, but getting fucking drunk. Cause it's like, it's the studio's money. So it's like, we've both seen at wrap parties, people that we didn't know were connected, like fucking on the dance floor or whatever.
It gets dirty.
It gets pretty dirty. So
it's like a holiday Christmas party. I mean, that's what it is. It has that vibe.
And COVID kind of killed the wrap party and sort of. But anyway, do you put those two things in the same bucket?
Like yes and no. Like in the sense that like a wrap party, when it's like a show that I've been on that like I work every day on or majority on, I want to go and hang out with the crew. Like we did this thing together, and I feel like that's the celebration of it. And that like that's different than a premiere. Like if I was a small part in a movie, I'll go to that premiere, but I probably wouldn't go to that wrap party.
Okay.
If that all makes sense. I mean, it's a very like a weird line that I'm drawing.
Now we'll get off this and get on to other stuff. But the last thing I want to ask you is, and be honest, what show? Or you can even name a name of a writer or producer. Who do you think kind of hates you? Like what show has kind of been like, or even in your mind, like not really, but like you think they have.
Well, okay. So I did say my Bob's Burgers thing, and I can tell you the moment that I think I messed up, which is I feel like I was at one of these events, like Emmy events, and I saw Lauren Bouchard, and I was talking to him, and I feel like I may have come across too cocky. I can remember the exact moment, and I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to because he was writing a comic book, and I was like, "Oh, I've done that, and here's what I'll say about this." I was like talking about this one specific company and what to avoid. I had dealt with some issues with like the animators. So I'm like, did I come off? I don't know if I came off cocky, but I'm like, that may be the moment. So that's one. And let me think about my other one, because that's one that definitely comes to mind a lot. What about you? Do you have one that you feel?
Yes, and you're involved.
Oh, really?
Black Monday. Never.
Oh my gosh.
Never was I on Black Monday. But that's fine. It's fine.
But that's
Paul.
really interesting.
It's
well,
fine.
but look, I had nothing to do with the casting.
No,
but that is but that falls into the category of what we just talked about, which is like, well, what's a good role for Rob? And there had been multiple times of going like, oh, right, this would be good for Rob, like that, like, or like, or we should hold that for Rob, or that's not big enough for Rob. And that is a tricky spot because you think you're going to go on for multiple seasons and then you don't got it. And then you get out early.
There's also like other sitcoms though that I just loved where I was like, oh, I would love to do that show.
Yeah.
They've been on for years, and like The Good Place I wanted to do. I never got to do The Good Place.
I basically begged to get on The Good Place because I loved it so much. There was another show, but you know what? This is all just proving the point. Like we all like you think, and it's like for me, I'm always like, oh, whatever we can do to get people that you want to be around in the thing because it only makes your stuff better. But there was another show. Oh my gosh. Again, it's so funny because it's like, why didn't I get that? Especially when a show has been on for a long time and you're like, well, at a certain point you're gonna get down to this list. You're gonna get me in there. Yeah. My gosh, I'm trying to think of something else that recently I definitely have them. I have them.
I have them like a list of shows where I'm like, oh, why someone hates me. I always feel like who else do I feel like hates me?
I'm trying to think of like who hates me. This is a good question because I'm like I'm really like
it's too there's something weird about talking about it on like if this is a podcast. I think, by the way, I think people think this is a pod. I guess it is a podcast kind of. But people when we're on camera and you can see us, it's weird talking about it. If this was just audio, I'd probably have a list of people.
Well, yeah, because it's like you look at it and you go like, all right, well, I think a lot of the times it like there's a great thing that I heard about like keep your eyes on your own paper. And I think that that's a very true thing. And for everything that we do, I think people are trying to look out for you and be like, oh, how can I put somebody in a role where they can succeed and be, and thrive and show themselves off. For example, I will say with like The League, when you came on that, you were a name that was bandied around for a long time until they found this part. And then they were able to kind of keep you in the mix. And it was like, because you never like, and this is a thing that I was always guilty of too, when I was doing certain things. Is like, oh, I don't want to like wash out that character in one. Like, is there a way is this character something that can come back? Like, because you would want that option to be like, oh, well, great. We could have like Hubel back on this, or we can do something like that. But like, sometimes it's to come in and do like a one-off part. It's tricky.
Eric Germ has a question. Are there any shows where you can just hire your friends without any pushback? He said Children's Hospital seemed that way. Children's Hospital was kind of that way because it was a small little scrappy show and it was
but there's the pushback is just you're hiring your friends like that
show specifically in NTSF too, like none of those shows there was no continuity in Children's Hospital. That show was just like nothing was really connected in that universe,
right?
Mostly. So you could kill someone and then bring them back as someone else if you wanted to, And I love
like that. I think a lot of the times for like network shows or bigger shows, the main cast, if they're not an offer only kind of a person, like for example, like on Black Monday, I needed to audition. Like David and Jordan, the creators of Black Monday, were like, "Oh, we think you could do this role."
Yeah.
And they brought me in, like, we really like you for this role, but the studio, the network, they need to see you with, like Don Cheadle. So I
think that whole like offer only thing kind of came. This is so inside. I think that kind of came and went away because now I think studios are just like tighter with their money. I think they're like, this is a fucking huge expenditure. We want to know this cast inside and out.
I would rather let see me audition so I don't get the set and then you go, wait, what are you doing? Like I've just bought like 8 years of this. Sorry. Anyway. Sorry about this.
So inside.
We'll get to our
we could have done this on our own time, but
But it is good. It's cathartic to know that like also everybody else thinks it too. Because I think there's always these moments where like, well, that person is done with me, and well, I learned my lesson. It's like, but it is all when you say it out loud. Rob, I will tell you this, just to change topics very quickly and harshly.
Yeah.
Are you excited for Tom Cruise in Maverick Top Gun?
I am. I know the Bob's Burgers people would say don't promote that because it's the same weekend, but no crossover. Some
see them both.
Yeah, see both. I've heard like Reggie Watts posted a very sincere thing on his Instagram where he had just come out of a screening and he was like emotional. He was like, this movie is fucking great. He was like, see it in IMAX.
Dude.
And now I've heard, have you seen it?
Well, all I did was last week I went to go see Doctor Strange in IMAX 3D, and before it played, they played a 15-minute like Top Gun Maverick. It wasn't a trailer, it was just a sequence.
Yeah.
It blew me away. Like I was like, how can I like yes to all of this? Like there are cameras in cockpits of fighter jets, and it's
actual. It's not like effects, right? It's practical jets. Right?
These guys, I've talked to a couple of these guys. They're up in the sky with no one to tell them when to go. They're directing themselves. They're doing their own scenes because they're flying in fighter jets, like puking all the time, doing all this crazy shit, and it pays off. Like I was like, oh yeah, Top Gun will be fun. Seeing it on IMAX made me go bonkers.
Yeah. Now, I am very guilty of giving Tom Cruise a pass. I'm assuming that Tom Cruise is a monster in real life, right? I mean, he's the leader of a gigantic cult of which your wife is a prisoner and working at their,
she's working
camps.
she's working in the Sea Org. Yes.
But I'm assuming that at some point, I don't know how, but we would get all the details.
This is a much bigger conversation because I don't disagree with you. I don't think he's a bad person. I think that he is not. Look, there's a missing woman, Shelley Miscavige, and and no one is asking where she is. No one has seen her. There's rumors that she might have been killed. Yeah. And there's nobody taking her out to show her. And I do believe that like there is an organizational problem where people are not.
But you don't think Tom is in on that? You think he's just like the kind of mascot that he does? Like
I think David Miscavige is the one. I mean, now that we got to really all delete. We are gonna get squirrel head or whatever. Nutmegged.
You think we should delete this?
Delete it.
I mean, I used to be worried about talking shit about them, but I feel like the word is out on them. But I all of that said, I'm gonna fucking pay money to go see Top Gun, or whatever it's called.
I will definitely go see it. Tom Cruise does not make bad movies. I know somebody said he only has one good movie. I disagree with that firmly.
I think Tom Cruise is a good actor, man. I think I'm all in. Like whenever I watch him, I'm like, yeah, he's really good.
I will say one other thing. If you are interested for a deeper dive into Scientology, not only should you
are you promoting Scientology?
No, but that Leah Remini show where she kind of exposes it is amazing. She came on How Did This Get Made for a special episode just to talk about Scientology, and it blew my mind. She was so.
Well, I saw like the first, handful of episodes. I feel like of that documentary show she did, but then I was like, how much time am I going to spend on?
Dude, it gets better and better. Really? Jerry Minor is on it. Our friend Jerry Minor, comedian, actor, Jerry Minor, because his family was in Jehovah's Witnesses, and they have a whole Jehovah's Witnesses episode. Whoa. Like it's great. It's great. But
I do love a good cult documentary. I'm all on board cult shit.
And by the way, yes, terrible. I will agree with this. That somebody said Tom Cruise enables a lot of awful things, and I think that yes, but if you're not saying anything, you're not calling it out, then that is a problem. But I'll tell you what's not a problem. In seeing Top Gun Maverick. One of my favorite things in movie theaters, I don't know if you like this at all. Do you know about the Coke freestyle machine?
I don't
Have you
think I do.
ever gone and see one of these guys at a movie theater or something like this?
It looks just like a Coke machine or like
Forget it, Rob.
what
This
is
thing
it?
has 100 flavors. The Coke
No.
Freestyle machine is the best of everything.
Hold on. Are you sponsored? Is this an ad? I can never tell
this
what
is
you're
not
getting.
an ad, but I'm going to tell you this much. If I like the one thing that I really want is like when in my office, I would like a Coke Freestyle machine. And it's amazing because you can make anything you want. And I don't even drink that much Coke, but special for Top Gun Maverick, when I was in the movie theater, they had this.
Now, what do you mean exactly? You're just mixing flavors?
You could do whatever you want. You have every Coke product there is, and you can mix and match. So like, say you like Fanta, there's like 12 kinds of Fanta there. There's like, if you like Coke, it's like they got every variation of Coke. And so for Top Gun Maverick, exclusively at AMC, you can drink Danger Zone, the drink, which is a special ginger cream. It was, I mean, I'm all for this. I'm all for more drinks based on movies.
Yeah. This feels like an ad that you are sneaking in on
for
all
Coke
of us.
Freestyle. No, you can't.
What's the slogan for this machine?
I don't know the Coke. The Freestyle machine is like your style, his style, her style, their style, freestyle.
Okay, that came out too quickly and too easily.
But Danger Zone, it's like, Danger Zone that's the one we should be getting the word out on. I mean, by the way, if Seagram's does need to, I think Seagram's needs to release ginger cream into the world as, for all of us Top Gun heads to just kind of enjoy it. You can also have Goose's Loose, which is ginger cream with a splash of cherry in there. That's the blood from when his head hits the canopy when he ejects too early in Top Gun. So that's a great one. A lot of flavored drinks there. Rob, yeah.
Well, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, are you prepared for this weekend? Because I know this weekend's a big deal for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I should even mention it, but yeah, I will mention it. I think I mentioned it last week. You did mention it. I know. I kind of screwed up because I think it was I think it's supposed to be a surprise for my nephew, but it's okay. He goes to a small little high school in South Carolina, and I'm going there. I mentioned this last week to do the the graduation speech or pep talk or whatever.
Well, it's a speech.
Yeah,
commencement address. Taylor Swift did a great one this week that people like really rallied. But did you watch the Taylor Swift one?
I haven't. I've tried not to watch. I've actually tried not to watch other people too much because I started to. I started to watch some big ones on YouTube, but then like after a couple of minutes, I was like, oh, I think this is going to mess me up because I sort of had in my brain what I wanted to say to these kids.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And then so I started writing it, and then I went back and started watching some other speeches, and I was like, oh, that's going to mess me up and whatever. You like to do your own thing. And
I think
But yeah, so do you want me to give you a little taste?
I would love to get a little taste of the speech. By the way, I'm going to say, as you are prepping for this, the drink pitches for Top Gun Maverick are pretty great here in the they have this one that says the Sad Meg Ryan is cherry Fanta and ocean water with an Iceman float. But yeah, okay.
Iceman float, is that because he ejected or he was killed in his plane in the ocean?
Well, Iceman did not get killed, but Iceman I think is cool, so you want to cool down.
Oh yeah.
Who got killed?
Goose. Yeah.
By the way, I just watched it last night. I'm so psyched about this movie.
Have your kids seen Top Gun?
No, my kids. I'm like waiting. I am one of those parents that while I love all the movies I grew up with, I don't force them on my kids, and I wait until they're age appropriate. Like I'd love to show my kid karate. Oh, I did show him Karate Kid. He really loved it. But
did you tell your kids that I played golf with Ralph Macchio? You should tell them that.
All right, I will tell them. I mean, my youngest actually recorded a video for Rob Riggle because he had a question about Holy Moly, and he did it very unprompted. He knows that I'm friends with Rob, and he goes, "Can you email Rob a video?" And I said, "Sure." And he asked a question about one of the Muppets that Rob was interacting with on Holy Moly, and Rob sent back a video. And it blew his mind. Like he just didn't understand what he was watching. And I also realized that he realizes I also realized that my son thinks that Holy Moly is a live show that is happening.
Yeah,
like
well,
he's
of
like,
course,
"Wow, how did he do?" Yeah, I was like, "Oh, of
yeah,
course,
they
yeah,
wouldn't understand.
yeah."
I mean,
But
'cause
anyway, yeah,
'cause
I didn't mean to. Yeah,
well, no, it's just your kids aren't very smart, so they wouldn't get that you could tape something and then air it later.
exactly.
Edit
We're
it.
used to live events, live sporting events.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes. So you've been working on this graduation speech.
So I've been working on this graduation speech, and I'll give you just a taste.
Okay,
I don't think any of my nephew's friends watch this. So I'll give you just a little taste.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Pop them up bigger, Molly. Yeah.
What's up, assholes? This was you about 18 years ago.
Okay.
But not anymore. You grew up. Well, first of all, you were an itch in your daddy's pants when you were just a little baby sperms. And then your mom and dad had what's called intercourse. And none of you probably know what that is. But then you were born because your moms didn't have abortions.
Oh, Jesus, Rob.
Paul, can I finish?
Okay, go ahead.
Because your moms didn't have abortions, you were born. Was that the right decision? Today, we will find out on graduation 2022.
I'm gonna interrupt for 1 second. Are you making that music, or are you gonna have an actual backing track?
I can't afford a backing track, so I'm going to do it. There is a point too where I plug 8-Bit Christmas.
Oh, I do appreciate that. Thank you for getting the word out for next Christmas.
Can I keep going?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep on going.
So, school. What's it all about? Meeting people, making friends, parties, drinking, trying drugs, masturbation.
Oh.
Sinning with your bodies and your minds, but not anymore. Now that you're graduating, you're getting ready to go out into the world like the little babies that you used to be, but not anymore.
Were you just miming like the birth canal? Okay.
It's really messing up my flow because I've got it memorized. And when you do that.
All right. So sorry.
So now you, in just a few minutes, you are about to graduate. I look at my watch. But before you do, I have a very special announcement. I've just been given the name of one student that will not be graduating today because you failed your history quiz. Derek Butterman, you will not be graduating. Get out of here, Derek.
Whoa.
And your family, get the fuck out, Derek.
All right, I was hoping for an F-bomb.
Boo! So then the cops or security guards get him out of there, and then we go, okay, now everybody else in here is graduating. Before we start the ceremony, go and kiss your parents. Everybody, go kiss your parents. We'll wait. Kiss your parents. Let's have a nice family moment. Everyone kiss on the mouth, or you don't have to do it on the mouth, but it's not a big deal. They're your parents. It's the last time you're going to see your parents ever, because after this,
that's not true.
You walk right out of here and you go to college and you will never see your parents again. So, what do you have to look forward to? Not much, because life fucking is hard, you spoiled little rich kids. Life is really, 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 really hard. And it's also really, really scary. And you thought high school was hard? You better fucking wake up. You better wake up, because it's fucking hard out there. And there's a pandemic and it's not over. It's still going. So after college, if you're going to college, I don't even know if all of you are smart enough to go to college. It's going to be really hard to get a job. and then maybe you'll find someone you could be in a relationship with. I don't know, because I don't know you. Probably not. You're probably just all on your phones, like scrolling.
Well, don't insult him, okay?
Paul. So life is really hard. And if you really want my advice, stay in high school and don't graduate. The end. And then smoke machine and fireworks.
You paid for fireworks?
No, I got some toilet paper. I'm gonna light a bunch of toilet paper on fire
and throw it into. Oh boy.
So that was the long version. I'll probably make it shorter and more like yelly.
We were supposed to do a fun part of the show called Gripes, where we had funny.
Okay.
No. I'm not. You don't know how to do this. We have our guest here.
I think I got it. It's gripes, right? It's like minor annoyances.
Minor annoyances.
Okay. You know how there's like a baby formula shortage right now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we? I think I got it. Why don't we, to deal with the baby food formula shortage, assassinate all of our pets? Eat our pets.
Assassinate our pets. No. Okay.
Because then we could.
No,
grill
you don't
them.
understand. You don't understand.
We could grill them.
No, we're not grilling pets. This is
grill them and eat them for meat and baby food.
You don't understand how Gripes is supposed to be a lighthearted, Dave Barry-esque exploration of funny everyday annoyances, and you have created some dark shit. You know what? Let's cleanse the palate here. Let's cleanse the palate, and we have
I feel like I really messed up that segment, and I love new segments. Every time you have an idea for a new segment, and also I've never been dropped off of my own show.
Molly.
But I want to empower Molly. Obviously, she is empowered, but I want her to do that whenever she feels like it.
Okay.
To you or me or a guest. So anyone can be dropped at any time.
Okay, well that's nice to know. I don't want to drop,
but all pets should be eaten.
Okay. No. Yeah. No. Okay. No. Don't.
Oh,
don't.
Molly. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Well,
oh no.
She looks delicious, Molly.
No, Rob, don't do that. Don't do that. No. Okay.
You know, okay.
Let's clean the palate here. We have an amazing guest tonight. Okay. He is a comedian, a stand-up comedian. He is a writer. He is an actor. He is, I would say,
singer.
Now a movie star.
Singer, dancer, movie star.
Movie star.
Movie star on the cusp of movie stardom.
Going up, coming out. He's like, you know what? I'm not only going to launch my movie career, I'm going to launch it against Tom motherfucking Cruise, right? It's like, take that. I'm coming in with a bang, not a whimper. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dan Mintz.
Thank you.
Dan.
Thanks for having me. You guys are very kind.
Dan.
I actually had the opportunity to star in a movie, really big movie, like 10 years ago, but I wanted to wait until it was a Tom Hanks kind of, because we have a rivalry.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that you really waited, and you lied in wait to just challenge the box office power of Tom Cruise. Dan, I haven't seen you in forever. How are you?
I know, I'm good. I haven't seen, I guess I've seen Rob a little more recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just telling Rob you should make a Human Giant movie. That would be amazing.
We should. Someone was just saying, Michael Ian Black on Twitter was saying, hey, if Kids in the Hall is going to do a reunion, the state should do a reunion. In which case, there should be a Human Giant reunion. So maybe
we get it all back. Here's the thing: I've heard that Kids in the Hall reunion is actually, like, some people are saying it's as good as the original. I think the fear is always like, it will live up to the expectation of what it was, or where you were mentally. Because I think a lot of like sketch comedy is like it like captures a moment of, like, when you found it, like, and it's like, I would love to see like the Ben Stiller show get a reunion, but I don't know if that's necessarily creating like the best. It was almost like that's what brought me in, but I don't know. I feel like it's always better to leave those things on the side.
But it's like every idea you've written down in your notebook for like the last 20 years.
Yes. You can kind of get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Dan,
you were one of those great people. We were saying this before you came on. You wrote for a Human Giant and had like some of the best ideas, and it was so fun to work with people because everyone came in with such a different like point of view.
Yeah, that was an amazing show to work on. It was also just like I always just you guys and Jason, like your instincts always, whatever I wrote, it was always like even better than I pictured.
Oh man,
and it was fun to see it.
Dan, we were trying to figure out, Dan, now that you are an international movie star and TV star, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bob's Burgers does like a Broadway show. Do you still do stand up? I don't know. I mean, I follow you on Instagram, but like I don't know. Are you on the road ever, or you don't do it that much? I don't know.
I mean, I love doing stand up. I don't do that much. I think most comedians feel like they need to be doing it all the time to stay in shape. But when you talk really slow, with like no energy, it doesn't. I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I spend most of my time like that working on stand up, like writing jokes, and then I could like write for a year and like try them all out in like a week.
Well, but also, I was gonna say, sorry.
Yeah, we were saying before an hour ago when we were talking about who was on the show, we were saying that like we both love your stand-up because it's so cerebral and so smart. But I know that like writing wise, there aren't like stories and filler and huge setup. So like you have to write a ton. I'm imagining to do like a 30 minutes of stand-up.
Yeah.
You have to write like a ton of jokes, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like 3 jokes a minute. And that's if I'm getting a good response. Laughing.
Well,
like
that
20
was like,
jokes a minute.
I remember watching you and Anthony Jeselnik because it's like it exists in like, here is a joke and it's gonna, and like, and it is like, and you can't like, because I watched Kevin Hart do like a 20-minute story and it was very engaging the whole way through, but that's 20 minutes of an hour-long set you got, like, and it's like, but you really have to hit everyone. It's like next. That is like, that's scary to me. I've always looked at the two of you.
Your stand-up is terrifying. As a performer, I know like that is terrifying because it's like yes or no.
You notice, right? There's a very clear place where if people are going to laugh, they would be laughing.
And you can't, and it's not like you can't like, well, that didn't work. I can exist in this for a moment and maybe find another like 4 tags for it. It's like, no, that was the joke.
Dan, I saw the movie the other night and I'm so excited that people get to see this bigger format and like a grander scale, and it was so fun. You guys are in your 10th season, is that right? Or you got
12, I think. 12? I mean, they're numbered differently for different production, and I don't know, but something like 12.
And did you ever, in your wildest dreams, when you started voicing Tina, did you ever think like, oh, well, this will be for the next 12 years? I mean, that's awesome.
I remember when John Benjamin, he's one who got me the job, asked, he's like, do you want to come do this like weird cartoon thing? It'll pay $700. And because that was like after minimum at the time. I was like, oh wow, that's a lot. That's like so much money to go.
Oh yeah, like you get so excited. Those gigs are like, yeah, great every week, $700. I love it.
Well, this was not every week. This was like one-time thing. But I was just like, okay, I'll go do. This was just the pilot presentation.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it would be like anything, but it's pretty amazing.
When did you know? I always like am curious to find this out. Like, when did you know it had crossed over and it was like this phenomenon? Because I think that like when I was growing up, it was The Simpsons, and now I think that kids are growing up, it's Bob's Burgers. Like everybody that I know of a certain age is like, I grew up with that show. I love that show, and by the way, it's incredibly funny. But I also feel like it became a cultural phenomenon. Like, when did you realize it became that?
I don't even know. It was such a gradual process, and obviously you live in a bubble where everyone's going to tell you they like it even if they don't. So there's like from the very beginning, everyone's being nice, but that they would have been nice no matter what. And then at some point, I guess people switch from just being polite to actually being nice.
It is funny when people I feel like in LA it happens a lot where people are like, I really like your show, and you're like, oh, thanks so much. I'm like, no. Like I like it. I really. Oh, wow, yeah.
I know. I do that too. Like I try to like let the person know. No, like I've watched your show, and like I saw. I'm just name dropping now, but like I was talking to Sam Richardson at the Bob's premiere. And I was like, Sam, I just want to tell you, man, I love Detroiters so much. I know I'm going way back, but I was like, I think Detroiters is such a good show. And he was like, oh, thanks, man. And I was like, no, but like, it's really good. And like, I started like naming like episodes, and like different bits that I liked. And so just so that people know that you actually watch their shit.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to say it 3 times. 3 times means actually mean it.
Yeah. The now can you clear up Paul, can I mention what we were discussing earlier?
Well, yeah, but I don't want to put him on the spot because he's
not. It's okay. I mean, this isn't I mean, if this was on Jimmy Kimmel, we would never do this. By the way, are you doing like big press for the movies? Like, are you do they have you doing like talk shows and stuff like that?
No, I just did. I think they kind of recognize that I'm shy and they don't like. I'm not the one. I mean, out of like the 6 people.
Oh my God, I would want you on. I would want you straight away. I think that like because I also think people are obsessed with Tina. Like I think Tina is just like. I think people are just so obsessed. But
by the way, people are so obsessed that can we just show you a couple of these and then I'll show you my gripe.
Oh yeah.
But like we were just going through some of these.
Yeah.
When you go to these conventions and do these like live reads, and then you look out into the audience and see you, but it's not you, but it is you. Like we just wanted to go through these with you and just kind of say like if there's any like I mean I know that you love everybody who dresses up like you, but are there ones that really like jump out at you that you're like these are really fantastic? I mean, they're all
so the first one you showed me was pretty great just because there were so many of them.
Yeah.
And the yellow rubber gloves really make it. So
there's dogs as you. I mean, I like that the glasses added on here as well.
Yeah.
You're lucky because you also have like a simple enough costume that I feel like that's the key.
Oh my God. Yeah. Every Halloween. And Dan, how much money
you like sexy
Tina? Dan, how much money do you get off of each costume that people make? I'm assuming you get some sort of fee, like $150.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult because you really have to like have a lawyer really go after them. And I really like. It's like once you like win a lawsuit, you've already drained their bank account a lot just by suing them.
Yes.
And then you still it's like you have to freeze their account or like garnish their wages. So it's kind of like different for everyone, but I would say
that's smart, man. It's smart to have a shark Hollywood lawyer just drain their bank account every time they dress up like you. Do you guys like when you guys go to? It's probably been a while, maybe because of COVID, but like when you guys do like a reading at a live event, or because I think I did one a long time ago, maybe like the Wiltern or something like that.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
But like, I'm assuming you guys do like Comic-Con and stuff like that. Is it bananas to look out and see? I mean, because I think that stuff is really fun. I wonder if like, is it at all creepy to see the extent of the fandom at all?
No, I mean, I think just because it is a cartoon, you kind of like you're used to the idea of people dressing up as cartoons. If they were dressed up as me personally, I mean, I would love that, but it would be it'd be a lot weirder.
The other thing that Paul and I were talking about that I really love about it is you're not doing like you're not trying to flex a Seth MacFarlane voice onto it. This is your voice. You are just doing you totally. It's not like you're going in there trying to like swing for the fences. Like it's just totally
it's like
in the beginning.
Right?
Yeah, in the beginning, were they ever like, Dan, maybe try to make it sound like, or were you just always like, this is how I'm doing it?
I think Lorne knew that. I mean, he never asked me to do another character. I did like once I started doing it. I went a couple like voiceover auditions, and I remember like the first one, they're like say it 3 different ways, and I did it, and like that's all the same way. I really thought I was doing three very different choices.
But it's kind of great to take that pressure off yourself, because now you know, like, hey, you're getting what you're getting, like that's it. And because there is like,
well, do you want to give him the chance to? We're just springing this on you, Dan, but there's a lot of famous characters out there, and Paul and I can also do this too. This is just a dumb little game that where we're going to show some characters, and then we'll try to do like a new voice for
like
them.
The reinvention of these characters.
Okay.
So we're going to put your voiceover work to the test.
Okay.
I mean, now we already know, we've already through admission, we know that, this is going to be a challenge, but let's see.
Okay. Okay. I'll take a crack at this. This is
classic Stewie.
This is classic Stewie from Family Guy. Probably, one of the more famous characters, voiced by Seth MacFarlane. So if I had to do a brand new voice for this,
and just so you know, like maybe I'll put it in some context. Like Stewie sounds like a evil professor kind of.
Yeah, do it. Go ahead. Do it, Paul.
Classic Stewie voice is like, I'm already lost. I'm doing your Matthew McConaughey now.
Yeah,
this is not going to be good. Ooh,
yeah,
Family Guy, man.
Yeah, that's great. All right, I would do Stewie like this. Hey man, you think you're better than me? You want to fight me? You get down here and you fight me right now. I'll wrestle anybody. I'll snap into a Slim Jim.
Well, you really again, that's like Randy Macho Man Savage. It sounded very much like your
Well, but they could use it if they wanted to.
I don't think they could because
it also seems off brand. It seems off brand.
Oh, because of the Slim Jim. What if I don't mention Slim Jim?
Yeah, the Slim Jim kind of
yeah.
Okay,
I was gonna say it's off. Yeah,
well,
it's off brand.
Let me try it again. Hey, you sack of crap! You think you're better than me? Try a beef jerky meat snack that rhymes with Slim Jim.
No, Molly, show him the next slide. See, Rob, try a different voice.
Yeah, that just sounded like regular Stewie.
Yeah. How about this? Bart Simpson. Yeah, try it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, your classic Bart Simpson, voiced by wait, I'm blanking on her name.
Nancy Cartwright.
Nancy Cartwright. Yeah. Which, by the way, someone was just telling me this show has been on for like 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years, which is amazing. Shout out to them. So, your classic Bart Simpson, everybody is familiar with, is like, hey man, don't have a cow. You want to fight? You want to fight somebody? You come down here and you fight me, you motherfucker. Snap into a Slim Jim. That's your classic Bart Simpson. So if I were to update it and give it a new try, I'd be like this. Ooh, well, look at me. I'm a little sexy boy on my chair. Look at my snotty little shoes.
Okay, this again. I think this again, Rob. I think these are not.
Well, I'm not great. I'm not great at this. I'm just trying my best.
Okay. All right.
Well, do you want to try? Well, yeah.
Do you want to try one, Dan? You want to see if you can get what the new voice of Shaggy might be?
All right. But I can obviously I've watched this cartoon a million times, but I don't remember
he goes like this.
Anything he said.
Like wow, Scoob.
Like wow, Scoob.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, I think that is good. I like that. I would do like
you try, Paul.
Like wow, Scoob.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I might try it. Let me take a swing at this.
Let me try it over here.
Are you allowed to do stuff like this where you like move your vocal cords around?
That's standard, like voiceover.
Standard. Okay. How about this? Hey, you motherfucker! You better get down here and wrestle me tonight, you sack of crap. How about that?
This sack of crap thing is. You know what? Let me. I don't think you're getting it. Everyone sounds like Randy Macho Man Savage. You know what, Molly? Give me one more. Let me see if this could work here. Let me see if I can. See if I can turn this on. Get this on there. Check. Let me see if this is gonna.
No, it's not on, Paul.
Wait, hold on. I got to make sure it's good.
Yeah,
get on.
That's good.
Check. It's not on. Wait. Oh, damn! I thought I had it ready to go. Is it?
Maybe.
No, it's. I'm not lighting up my thing. Hold on. Ah, damn it. Let me see if I can get this here.
We'll edit this part out, Dan. Don't worry.
I should have tested it before the show. I don't have my full
Well, just
check.
just do your best.
All right, I'll do my best. I'll just do it regular without the ears.
So, well, first of all, give people the classic Ren and Stimpy, and then do a new take on Ren and Stimpy.
Wow, classic. All right, how about this? Ren and Stimpy is like, you idiot, right? That's like that. And so I would do the ASMR Ren, which would be this. Hi, I just was thinking about something. I really think that you're an idiot, and I just wanted to tell you that you are an idiot dog, and I don't like you.
I like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if they would go for it, just because it is like,
you idiot, and they'll be like, you're a stupid idiot. Yeah. No.
It's
kind of like a show, like it's kind of defined by its aggressiveness.
Yeah. I mean,
again, the ASMR part
tone,
is like
tone. I can't necessarily promise you. I just kind of, I'm a master of voices. That's all I am.
Well, I do want to say that's the first time we've tried that segment, and I think that, Paul, we should keep that segment. We should.
I like that segment.
We'll get other voiceover artists to come on, and Paul and I will show the right way to do professional voices, because obviously we have a huge range. That is, Dan, in all honesty, like I feel like whenever I go in to do Bob's, I'm always a little bit embarrassed, because I'm just doing me also, like I'm just always doing a version of like an asshole kind of jerky guy, which is, in my wheelhouse. And I think at the beginning, maybe they were like, well, why don't you try it like this? And I was like, I can only kind of do this.
Well, Lauren, I mean, on Bob's Burgers, Lauren really is about like coming to you as an actor, going to the act, taking what the essence of the actor and making that the character.
Yeah.
See, this is interesting. Now, I will ask you this: have you ever had to send a cameo or a cameo like thing? What is the weirdest thing you've been asked to do? Obviously the show's been on for a very long time. Has anyone gotten to you and given you something at a wedding, at a place, or are you able to like lay low?
What do you mean, like someone saying like, can you record my outgoing
but even weirder than that? Has there ever been a weird Tina request?
Yeah, I think it's been pretty, it's pretty standard of like, you wish someone happy birthday or congratulations.
Which I guess is just you just doing it.
Oh, I did have one time, I was doing this benefit show. So they were doing, it was like stand-up show, but then they would like auction off different things. And so they would like auction off for each comedian, they would do something. So they auction off like, can you, like Tina, I would say something as Tina, and so someone asked, like, can you tell, like, it was this very long story of this like thing that had happened to their friend who ended up being homeless.
Oh my God.
They're like, can you, but they need to be cheered up. So can you like, so I was like,
man.
I'm so, hey, it's Tina from Bob's Burgers. I'm really sorry that you ran into these issues in your life, but I hope that it gets better for you.
Oh my God.
Hey, look, we spent $4,000 on getting Dan Mintz to record a message for you. So I just want you to know, I hope that helps solve.
I hope this cheers you up. Like, why didn't you just give the guy the $4,000?
Great.
Dan, congratulations on the movie, man.
Thank you so much.
I hope, we've known you for a long time, and I'm privately worried that with the success of the movie, you're going to change and your lifestyle will change, and
drugs,
premarital, that's already happened.
Premarital sex.
Well, I'm married, but you mean like post-marital sex? Yeah.
Well, like more of
it'd be hard to do premarital. Okay,
yeah. But also,
like you would take off your wedding rings before.
What about like motorcycles? Like collecting expensive motorcycles and shit like that. Like I'm hoping that you don't do, like, you're not going to get like your helicopter pilot's license or anything like that, right?
Yeah, you'll take up an obscure weird hobby.
I have like a pilot. I don't need to do that.
You have your
Oh wow, you have a
I have a
pilot. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. And I know that a big thing, because Bob's Burgers is opening up next week against Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, do you want to say anything to Tom Cruise, because he's a fan of this show and he always
Tom's
watches.
always watching.
You want to say anything to Tom Cruise?
Give him the full
Tom,
screen, Molly.
Thank you for all the great movies over the years. I'm sorry that it has to end like this, with me beating at the box office. I hope you don't take it personally. Just business.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, you fucking stirred them up.
It's just business. I love it.
All right.
Thanks so much, Dan. Great to see you, buddy.
Thank you for having me. That was so fun.
We have the amazing and talented. I call them both artists, but one as an amazingly talented actress and director, one as an amazing songwriter, musician. Please welcome Ione, Skye, and Ben Lee. Welcome to the show.
Oh,
yeah.
Just to be close to that segue, it was like osmosis of show business. Excellent.
I'm sure you guys, like 10 minutes ago, you were like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, what?
Until
seriously,
that segue.
Seriously.
Till the segue came. Ben, Ione, welcome to the show. So excited to have you both here. And excited. This is like a big week, because this is the launch of your podcast week, right? This is it.
I know, it's pretty exciting. Hey, yeah, no, it's really good. Yeah, we started a podcast. We've got a weird little. Our marriage is like an art project in itself. So we just started wanting to create a container for all the creative stuff we do, and Ione gave me a birthday card last year that said, "Let's be weird together." And I was like, "Oh, weirded together. That's us." So yeah, a podcast called Weirded Together, and it's yeah.
There it is. Look at this. I love it. I love that you guys are coming out. Rob and I are both married, but I love that you guys are coming out of the pandemic and going, let's do more together, because I do feel like this pandemic has been a very interesting look at a lot of relationships, because things have imploded over this time, and you got to see an insight to a lot of your friends, like, oh, I guess that wasn't as good as I thought. But this makes me feel like you guys, not only did you get through, you got through with this.
They've doubled down. They're doubling down. Yeah, I love it. Have you recorded a bunch, or are you doing it like week by week, and you're kind of, in other words, have you like found your rhythm yet, or is it still kind of
the rhythm of one? We've done one.
I mean,
we had a bit of a rhythm.
We did, yeah. We just did the one, but we've done like we took this sort of Largo model, and when we lived in Australia for a year, so we were working on like bits, because we did something at a place out there
called Giant Dwarf in Sydney.
This cool spot. So that was sort of, I mean, we've collaborated we've made short films and music videos and like stuff like that. We're kind of different aesthetically in some ways, but also, I'll have Ben help me. He's like, I wouldn't say, I mean, funnier, but you'll help me sometimes write funny things, or I don't know. We've worked together, but
well, it is like in relationships, you sort of, Tom Waits started making all his music with his wife at a certain point, and a lot of fans were sort of perplexed by it, because it goes against the sort of archetype of the lone troubadour.
Yeah.
And he said, it's like anything else. You wash, I'll dry. And it really is. I think like you kind of figure out in all partnerships, like how your deficits, the other person can compensate for, basically,
And I think it's like, it's interesting. Yeah. It's like, you have to also be like there's like a truth in like your partner telling you that they like something versus when they don't like something. And it's like, and it could be like, oh, everyone else likes it just fine. But like, I do feel like when June responds to something, it does elevate it. It makes me feel like, all right, I've done something good here, because she's seen all my bullshit. So when it like surprises her or engages her, I feel like I know I'm onto something good. I feel like that's always a good thing.
Paul, I don't know how, when you are physically recording your podcast, so it's you, June, and Jason. So are you and June in the same room, or you're somewhere? Okay.
We're in different parts of the house.
Is that true? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's better just because we're on audio. I mean, like if we were, I mean, if we were having a conversation across, I mean, I guess we could do it across,
because
but
it's
it's
like, because
just not,
I imagine that she's like she's telling you what to do. You know, she's putting you you know, I mean, because I know your dynamic. I mean, I know that, you know, she keeps you on a very short
I mean,
leash.
sure. Okay. Yeah. I
No,
guess, yeah.
but that is interesting that you guys are not in the same room.
Because we're not talking just to each other. I think if we were just talking to each other, we would do it. But it's like Jason is there too. So I think it keeps us all in our own little like bubbles, if that makes sense. You know, we're all like alone.
Don't you also reckon, just with what you're saying about the winning, you know, selling an idea or like impressing your partner, conversely also like bombing in your marriage is like the absolute worst. Like, and you have to be really sensitive because, like, I mean, you know,
this was different to anything. We went through so much, like getting ready to do just the first one, that I was not ready for. Like, because I think we've sort of been, I'm sensitive in a way, but we've had this sort of unspoken, like, if he writes something and plays it, like, we're not gonna try to be like rough with each other creatively with what we do, but for some reason
I like to hear that's great.
Yeah, and for
we all
that's
do,
my
right?
choice of
but
criticism.
for this, we weren't being rough, but stuff was coming up because it's such a different thing. A podcast is different to anything. Like what I said before, like I've painted, I've written things, I've acted, I've directed, like, but for some reason this was something, I don't know, I hit spaces like, you know, emotionally that I didn't, like psychologically, like just for something light. Like,
well, also like we're hardly, you know, we're hardly innovators to start a podcast, and they're such a part of our lives at this point. Like I feel like, because I actually had a podcast for 5 minutes, like before Apple Podcasts existed. I just did it through my website and stuff. And I wish I'd stuck with that because that was really the time to get, it was a little early, but at that point you could kind of do whatever you want. Now it's like, you do feel that like the medium is so established and you want to be good and you want to make a contribution.
Trying to reinvent anything. It's very, you know, chill and
trying to reinvent our marriage.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was just, maybe I was in a weird mood that week, but I felt like I went through more than I thought just thinking about it.
Maybe it was the ayahuasca though that we drank.
No, we did not.
But you know, but it is weird because I think you're putting yourself out there. I think there's something like I always say this about podcasts. It doesn't matter what the podcast is. Like people are tuning in for the voices and the connection that they hear. I think a majority of that is true. Like, you know, if you two decided to talk about, like, people want to hear that dynamic. And I think that's what pulls people in, but also because you're a couple, you're revealing a piece of your dynamic. And it's like, what am I revealing? Is this too much? Is this too little? And you're aware of it. And you got to like walk this line sometimes. Like one of the jokes on How Did This Get Made that started very organically was when June would come on the show, or I would I'd say, hey, my co-host Jason Mantzoukas, and please welcome June, my other co-host June Diane Raphael. And I say, how are you, June? And she's like, fine, how are you? And it just started very normally, like as if we had not seen each other, or we don't live with each other, we don't talk to each other, and then it became like a bit like that we were so formal with each other.
Well, you know, like what's funny about just long careers in general as entertainers is like there's what you come in wanting to do or what you want to sell, and then there's what people actually enjoy about you, and it's often, sometimes they're aligned, sometimes they're not. And I think it's really funny because, you know, we use social media to like promote our projects and do it. And we just started getting all these people going, I'm so glad I follow you guys. I love seeing your marriage. We were both like, our marriage? Like that seemed to just be our personal backstory. And then we realized, like, I think people get so cynical now about dating and relationships that just seeing a fun marriage of people who like each other is kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
I know. It's
my wife, I would have a hard time doing a podcast with my wife. I love my wife to death, but like, I don't think that she thinks I'm funny, or I think she thinks I'm funny, but like she doesn't give it up very easily. And And so I feel like I would just be like, what about this? What about this? What about, and I'd be like, just discouraged.
You look desperate.
I mean, my mom, what was she saying? She was like, hey, you remind me of Gracie Allen and George Byrne, or I was like Gracie Allen, like kind of ditzy, like, like Julie Haggerty, like my sort of, one of my personas is sort of that ditzy kind of, you know what I mean? Like thing. So maybe one day, so we're doing that in our show, and it was sort of evolving that I was like, just so innocent and naive.
Right.
But just to be clear, this doesn't come out of nowhere. This is not a totally contrived.
Well, I think that's true for anything, right? It's like you're just like kind of you're showcasing a part of your personality.
Yeah.
One of the things that people have liked in the first episode was just this little bit we talked about by accident, which is Ione has this amazing habit of mispronouncing or misremembering celebrities' names, but with such earnestness. So she was a big fan of the Nine Inch Nails frontman Terry Reznor, and really admires the charitable work of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes.
And these are these weird details of marriages and people's lives that I think before podcasts, like, you wouldn't really get those insights into people interacting in those ways.
And what's weird about it too is that, like, it's so you guys know each other so well that you probably don't realize that when you point stuff out like that, the audience is going to love it. You know what I mean? Like, that she does that, and she knows that you do weird little things like that. But by calling out each other's little things like that, I think people are going to be like, oh, this is great. Like letting them in on your little shorthands and your bits and stuff like that.
Yeah, it also feels fun to just on a on a logistical level to create a format that's not reliant on bringing in guests constantly.
Thank God.
Because I'm a guest on a lot of podcasts, and you see that pressure and the competitive landscape and everyone hustling their thing. And it's like, dude, we'll just do something where even if it's got a more limited appeal, it's like we just turn on the mics and we can just chat to each other. Because from our first date, we could not shut up with each other. Like,
I love that.
It's that kind of thing. We're just talking all night from day one, and so it's fun to have an outlet for it.
I think it's such a great thing, and again, I think we live in a time where it's nice to see like representation of like good, healthy relationship,
white people,
yes, and that's why you're on the show. Now let's get into it. All right, we actually wanted to play a game. We wanted to play a game with you because I think this is like kind of falls in line with what we were just talking about a little bit. We've all, Rob, me, you both, we've all done things that we've been incredibly proud of, but we feel like, oh, it didn't really like connect the way I wanted it to. And so, Rob, you've titled this segment. Give us a title.
Is there a graphic or?
Oh yeah, here it is.
Why didn't they give a fuck? You've just done things where you think it's great, and somehow people just like didn't catch it, didn't see it, didn't hear about it.
And so what we're trying to do, what we're just trying to do is like say like, and I'm not this is not about like what did you do that you're embarrassed of. This is like, I genuinely think this is good. Like, go back and watch this thing. I think that not enough people have seen this thing that I've done, or I've listened to this thing that I've done. And it's a very earnest moment to see like if there's anything that we should we're learning of. We're obviously people know about you, but is there a thing that you really love that you feel like it didn't get enough eyes on it?
Oh, like for acting and stuff. Well, I mean, I did. There's one short film that it was more just we didn't put it out. I did this amazing. It's going to sound so trendy and cool.
Inexplicable failure.
No, but it was this short film I directed. But I co-directed with Sofia Coppola. I wrote it, and like Spike Jonze and Roman Coppola and like all these, great actors were in it, and it was a comedy called Bed Bath & Beyond, and it was really, really good, but only people didn't see it because we just never really even put it out. And one person I know has it, and every 5 years I'll call him and like, can I get it? Because it's really funny and really cool.
Oh my gosh.
But then also, if I find it, if I get it, I will send it to you guys. It's so good.
Maybe it might be legally that you got sued by the corporation Bed Bath & Beyond. Did that have anything?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, it could be like a.
No, I think it just was truly. It was so lo-fi. And
But
it
what
was
about camping even?
No,
Sorry,
that's
I was gonna
true.
say,
That's
yeah.
another one. I did this show for HBO, Camping, that was Jenny
Yeah,
Connor and
yeah.
Jamie Johnson. But it was. I mean, I could see why it got slammed and everything, but it is fun. I was
But
just
if it's
watching
good,
that show. What was it called? What's that Adam Scott show where they're caterers?
Severance.
oh,
Party Down.
Party Down. Yeah.
Party Down. Like I never heard of them. And camping
Oh my
is
God.
like
Amazing.
there's
Yeah.
so many things where you're just like, well, not so many things, because I feel like I see so much, but camping is nowheresville. Like even Say Anything, I barely see it on once I saw it like on not Netflix, but I'm like,
I reckon that one got a fair
Say
shake.
anything is out there. Yeah, Say anything has
it's
got out there.
But I
People
mean,
know that.
I could use a lot more, but I've done so many.
But it
bad
is funny,
things,
like,
but I
'cause
would
you-
like my good things to be.
Have you done, Ione, have you ever done like a pilot that you loved that didn't get picked up or didn't have, didn't just totally went like I did? I mean, if I could jump in on this, I did a pilot a couple of years ago with Toni Collette for ABC, and it was all these like really funny women and Toni, and it was like an hour-long sort of CIA thing, and they were like the low-level CIA workers, and they kind of got brought up to the big leagues, and I was just like the dumb computer hacker guy. It was so good, and ABC was like, meh, totally went away, and so like I was just like, that would have been fucking amazing. I'm still mad about it.
But you see, like that, it's always a tricky thing because you don't know like why that decision is being made. I'm gonna say one thing I've noticed that you and June both kind of share. I don't know if you felt this as well. You're in Zodiac, June is in Zodiac, and that was a movie that I feel like came out and it was like, that was good. And then for whatever reason, like 3 or 4 years ago, people were like, Zodiac's my favorite Fincher movie of all time. Like, wait, what? It just kind of like exploded on this other side.
I think Mindhunter helped with that because I think Mindhunter, it was almost like it carried on a little bit, like a thread, and I think people sort of suddenly went like, "Oh, I love this," and he made something kind of like this before.
And the feeling of, but yeah, when it came out, it wasn't as big as maybe because whatever was before his few before were really big, and then I don't know though, but the tone of Zodiac is so great. Maybe people were just wanting to live in that feeling of it because there's a sort of vibe to it that's good. I remember I'm so terrible if someone like I feel like if someone says this script is good because this director is good, I'll read it and I'm like, yes, it's good. And if someone's like, this is not a great project, I'm like, yes, it's not. Like I have to, sometimes I'm very persuaded and then sometimes I'm not at all. But
I read a script.
When Zodiac came out, I also was like, it's okay. Now I'm like, that's a great movie.
I had the most embarrassing thing. I was doing this movie. It was a first-time director, and I had read the script, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! It's like a metaphor for gentrification, and it's this, and this is about like gang killings, but it's all hidden under this other umbrella." And like I talked to the director, and I was like, "Oh, I just love how it's like layered this." And he's like, oh yeah, no, it's none of that. It's just what was on the page, this straightforward thing. I was like, right, and that's why I really, and that's why it can work because it can kind of everyone can read it. But like to feel like I had like unpacked this thing and felt
maybe
so
you
smart.
smoked pot before and you were just like,
it's like I see it all.
Ben, is there anything in your wheelhouse that feels like that?
Yeah, it's funny. The things that are coming to mind are both music projects that I produced that weren't my solo records because I felt like I was so proud of them and I wanted them to have an audience. One of them was there was a choir in LA called the Silver Lake Chorus. And there was like 20, 25 of them led by this incredible guy, Mikey Wells. And I saw them rehearse and they were amazing. They didn't have any original songs, obviously. They were a choir. They were doing covers. And I was like, you know what? To get this thing some attention, let's reach out to these amazing songwriters and get them to write you something. And then let's record choral versions. And we got songs from Justin Vernon, Tegan and Sarah, Carl Newman, Amy Mann. and we made this beautiful album, the Silver Lake Chorus.
And some people gave songs that they'd never.
And Scheer and all these people,
wow.
and I just don't think anyone knew what to do with it. And then the other one was this record I produced for Margaret Cho. She did a comedy record, and there was a duet she did with Fiona Apple called Hey Big Dog, and Margaret's dog had just died, and it was a song where Fiona played the dog, and it was a love duet between dog owner and dog, and you got to look it up. It's on YouTube. It's called Hey Big Dog, Margaret Cho and Fiona Apple, and I just was like, I mean, that actually got nominated for like Best Music Comedy Album at the Grammys and didn't win, but that doesn't. It didn't. No one heard.
Right.
So no one heard this record, and I'm just like so proud of it.
Yes.
So, anyway,
I mean, that's the kind of stuff.
Yeah. If we're really going to drill down on it, I kind of feel like just as an artist, that's just what it is. I think you just do stuff, you know, I mean, everybody, you guys know, obviously, but like you just do some stuff because it's just in your heart. And it's like, I have to do this. I have to get it out there, whether or not a ton of people eat it up. I don't care. Like, I just don't care. I just want to make this, you know.
But we live in a culture where so many things just like fly by if it doesn't like capture you the minute it goes out. Like you kind of, it's very rare for something to come back. Like I remember reading this article, like a handful of years ago, like a movie would come out and work its way to the #1 spot. And it wasn't like you have to debut at #1 and then you go down. It was like the idea is like, oh, did you see this movie? Oh, I did. Like I think like Superbad is a great example of that. Like people are like, oh, I don't know who these people are. Oh, it's really good. And people like kept on going to see it, and then it got up there. But now you have to like kind of hit the ground like running, and then it's gone the next weekend, and it's like, oh my god, I didn't watch the thing. I feel so bad about it, and then like shit just goes by so quick. Like I just saw today, like Emmy Rossum is playing like Angeline, like on a Paramount Plus. I was like, this is out. Like, what is this? I don't even know. Like, I was like, I didn't even think, it's like, there's too many things to even keep track of. And of course they worked hard on that, but yeah.
And it's a whole, I think the part of the attitude of just staying, not becoming bitter, is like making peace with that. I just wanted to show you something because Ione probably won't show you this, but she just put this up. This is an example of something just doing just for the love of art. Like Ione's an amazing artist, and she made a little art fanzine of her prints, and she put it up for sale for $25 on her Instagram. I'm
buying that today.
There's 50 copies and they're all numbered, and
it's
so cool because it's like, look, it's just gonna cover costs. It's not sorry, she's taking it away. It's not, but the point is, it's like I think doing stuff like that, and we're really into this, is like just keep sharing, keep giving, be generous, be creative, and you sort of lose track of what does well and what doesn't, because you're onto the next thing and you're doing it from a good place in your heart.
I know. I feel
keeps 20, you really alive.
I feel 23 again, making a fanzine. It was so fun.
But that is like, I love that.
That's the kind of thing where I personally get furious, because when I see someone that can also do that, I'm like, why can't I do that? You know what I mean? Like, I just saw a friend of mine who's a stand-up comedian that just was like, I'm going to try painting. And painted Rory Scovel, Scheer. Rory painted this amazing painting. I was like, how long have you been able to paint? Like, how do you know how to do
I mean,
so
that's like my first thing, but I'm not a fine. I mean, I'm a fan of myself, and I've had shows and stuff like that, but I'm not like a fine artist, but I'm good in my own raw way. I think I've got it, but I feel like I'm truly an artist, and the acting, I love it. And I actually have grown more and more and more. I mean, I can't say one is bigger than the other, but I know what you're saying. But I feel the same with you. I feel the same with what you guys do, though.
Well, I mean, we're both great at, so many things.
But
we
love, I mean,
magic,
taekwondo,
mime work.
I'm doing a lot of boiling with food. I
do street vandalism.
I do street chalk. That's what I do. A lot of street chalk art. I will say this: that
you say street chocolate,
street
street chalk.
Yeah, street chalk. But I will say, like, my whole energy, like what I always kind of talk about, and I think it was one of the reasons why Rob and I do this, is like it's fun. Like right at the end of the day, it's like you can't look at like what it will be. It's like let's just have fun. We have a great time, talk to people, do bits. And as long as you're having fun, I always think that like it begets other things. Like for me, I've been challenging myself to like bring out my camera every day and take a picture every single day. And something I love to do. I love photography, but like I would leave my cameras on the shelf. So by forcing myself to hit some sort of creative deadline, it actually takes me out of like the things I normally do, my routine, and gives me something else to do. And it's like, I think we just have to embrace all those ways to kind of.
I just think, Paul,
give
you
yourself
need to legally, you can't be sneaking around in people's backyards like you're doing and shooting through people's windows.
Called portraiture, Rob.
You're supposed to ask them first.
Yes,
portraiture.
Ask them, Paul.
Say, can I take
It's erotic portraiture. It's voyeuristic.
People home alone.
Portraiture.
Well, guys, congratulations on the podcast. I can't wait
to together.
Thanks for having us.
And where does it? Yes.
Oh, and I'll just tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
I've got a single coming out on June 1st.
And your album is coming out in August.
Yeah, my album's coming out in August. I'm fun, but I have a single called Parents Get High coming out.
Yes.
I worked on with John Bryan, and Paul's actually in the video.
I am.
Paul
And that was one of the
dad.
craziest things to do because I had to shoot on a green screen. I won't reveal how it comes, but like that was
the video's like the lo-fi, like not Mario Brothers, but everyone's just little. It's very
heads.
Cool.
It's really cool. Weirded Together is available wherever you get your podcast. The zine is available on Ione's Instagram.
Yeah.
I would say we need to release Bed Bath & Beyond. We got to find this Margaret Cho duet with
I'm Fun comes out in August. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
the album comes out in August. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Everything has come together. And by the way, just so you know, Ben, and I want to represent this because I think it's important. We have one Australian in our chat. His name is Brissy Joe. He's called in.
Brissy Joe. Could he be
Joe.
named any more Australian?
So Brissy Joe, I just want to. He is very excited that you're here because he's always calling in from Australia, and we've asked him a lot of different questions. Brissy, do you have
Brissy Joe? He's from Brisbane.
Oh yeah. So Brissy, do you want to have an inside joke? Any inside jokes you want to share before you go off, Brissy? Let's see if he'll pop one up there. But I'm very excited to see where this podcast goes. And I think it will just be it'll be great. And I'm so excited you guys both sat down with us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, so good.
Really excited.
All right, so we will see you later. And Brissy, you missed your opportunity. You should have typed quicker.
Hey, Brizzy, you're a sick cunt.
All right. See you later. Bye, everybody. Oh my gosh, the best.
That was so fun. I also love putting Brizzy Joe on the spot. Yeah. And he crumbled. He could have said anything about Australia and their whole shared culture and all of their inside jokes, but he didn't. He,
as Firebird Justice said, crumbled like a cookie.
By
the way, great to have those two on. I think
really
they're great. They're such great artists.
I want to listen to their pod. They seem really fun. How do you know them? I don't know that.
I'm trying to think of how it all came together. I've met. Very long story short, our buddy Jake Fogelness, who's been on the show, we hosted a late night show on K-Rock in New York, which is the same station that Howard Stern was on, and we would do like 10 to 1. We were doing like a late night.
I remember. I vaguely remember that.
I believe that you probably called in for it. We had a lot of people call in. So Jake was really good friends with Ben, and Ben came on the show as an in-studio guest and did some music. So I have like these pictures of me, Jake, and Ben. And at one other point, I may have reached out to him to do Talk Show, I think, which is a show that you were the musical coordinator of, like the Chuck Norris and the band. And he may have done that. And so we had kind of known each other. And then one night, I may have asked Ben, I don't remember. I may have asked Ben to do another show I was doing at Largo because Flanny, who runs Largo, was like, oh, you should have Ben on the show, where it's called Hanging with Paul Scheer. And Hanging with Paul Scheer was a show where people came on and did show and tell, which you also did. And Ione was backstage, and I'd started talking to her, and she's awesome. And they're just like very cool people. And as I started to like meet them, and Ione was working with Brett Gelman at that point. So we all had something in common, and it was just great to kind of chat with them. And
I just love people like that just want to make stuff and put it out there and share stuff. Like, I think that's so fun and cool.
Yeah. I mean,
truly, maybe I should work that into my graduation speech. Maybe like this, maybe like, kids, I know you're graduating, and, you know, yes. Is drinking fun? Yeah. Are drugs, illegal drugs, hard drugs, are they fun? Yeah. You know, illegal dogfighting rings, is that fun? Gambling on illegal dogfighting rings, yes. No. You know what else is fun? Art, making art with your friends. Also, if you're gonna try to drive two cars into each other as a goof and put it on YouTube, don't do that.
Don't do that. Right. Please don't do that. Anyway, you know, Rob, I think you were there a little bit. I think what he was saying was this, like, you know, embrace your artistic sides. And
really but I gotta, cool. You know, there's all these things I want to hit in my graduation speech. So, all right, I gotta pick and choose, you know?
All right. Well, I guess you're right. I mean, you know, look, I think we did it here tonight. We had great guests. Dan Mintz, movie star Dan Mintz. Yeah.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Shout out to Dan Mintz, international movie star, Bob's Burgers movie, May 27th. Bentley, Ione, Skye, all of those
podcast,
things, their podcast. I also want to just check in with Molly real quick and see what time I could pick up the dog to grind into baby.
Oh no, that's it. She's gonna kick you off the show. All right.
No.
That's it for Thursdays with Rob and Paul. You can watch the show live streaming on Twitch every Thursday, 5 to 7 Pacific time, or 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time, or wherever you are, you can figure it out. And if you don't want to figure it out, you can watch the replays right here on Twitch. Please remember to like, subscribe, and do everything you do on social media here on my YouTube channel. It's Paul Scheer's YouTube channel, and now you are a member. I hope you are. Stay tuned for more.